back to DeFi, Degens, Drip, and Farm for Poverty, where on this channel, our vision is to empower the impoverished by helping you find financial freedom through crypto assets. If you like the mission, you resonate with the vision, and you find this content useful, please subscribe and leave a comment and a thumbs up. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back. DeFi, Degens, Drip, and Farm for Poverty. So today we're going to be talking about the not financial advice statement and how following some people's not financial advice can get you wrecked. But before we get into that, I'm going to again remind you guys that until the end of April, you have this free certified health and fitness coaching being offered by yours truly. If you want to participate in it, all you got to do is stake at least 2 drip, join my drip team, or when the Piggy Bank launches, by the time you maybe see this video, it might be launched, put 45 BUSD in the Piggy Bank, then join the Telegram group, post screenshot, and I will get you the free checkout, and you'll get 30 days of health and fitness nutrition coaching. I'm not going to go over the details of what's in it. If you want more information, join the Telegram group. All right, so now getting straight into this. So I didn't want to cover this again, like beating a dead horse, or in this case, beating a dead elephant. But I feel as a YouTuber, that's what I guess I do now. We have a moral obligation to ensure you guys are getting the most transparent and honest information. That's the way I look at it. Now, I know a lot of other YouTubers may just shill projects because they get kickbacks and referrals, and they may just dump on you and get into scams, and they get the token, then they pump it on their channel, then they sell the token. I don't know. I've heard about this. I would not doubt it. But what I want to get at in the Drip community, I feel is one of the better communities that I've been a part of. For the most part in there, I think most people are trying to help one another, and they all mean well. But that being said, you can get some really bad recommendations or advice, even though everybody uses that disclaimer, not financial advice. We all know that you are looking to us and to writers of articles, things of that nature, for that to be your research. When we all say do your own research, well, what happens is you go and find other people in the space that have already researched, and you research them. So I'm not gonna say nobody, but the bulk of people don't go and do like a background check and dig into the tokenomics and understand all that. They instead get interpretations from multiple different sources, and then they formulate their opinion that way. And that's kind of smart. You outsource it to other people, and then you get a combined opinion on projects, and then you can make your own decision. So that being said, to me, there are some people that are supporting this project, and they have the right to, but I want you to read what was written by BT directly, and then you decide if this is a project you would support before you just follow someone like myself, or in this case, Patrick from Cryptozoa. So this is an old article that was done a couple days after, and in this article, he's talking about why he still is supporting BT, and he gives some statements as to why. And he starts off with this quote that is directly from BT. And I'm going to go directly to that article first, but I'll read it here. I would be wary of investing in or supporting any auditor, dev team, investor, etc. that is high-fiving at the expense of the shared community. Every time bad actors win, it hurts the entire space. There are prominent teams that were aware of weaknesses and stood by and did nothing at your expense, even after I and other community members asked them to disclose. It is not my job to call them out explicitly, but you know who they are. BT on Medium. So this goes directly to this Medium post, which I already have up here. So this is where BT is actually updating everyone as to what's going on. So this direct quote is here, and it was update 4. Now I want to break this down to you guys, and I want, again, you to formulate your own opinion. So this is straight from the developer's mouth. BT is the only developer on Elephant money, right? So this is after the exploit, and this is what he wrote. So this is a quote from him. He wrote this article. I would be wary of investing in or supporting any auditor, dev team, investor, etc. that is high-fiving at the expense of the shared community. Now let's break that down. What he's talking about here, we all know. Dev team, he's talking about Forex and BB, specifically any of the devs in Drip. Now, the auditors are from what I understand, was Paladin and I forgot the other one, but these auditors did not want to look at his code, or said they couldn't look at it for whatever reason. He posted that in the Telegram group, the DGen Protocol Telegram group, which I've been kicked out, and I'll tell you why later, but I can't show you that. So that's who he's talking about here. But I don't believe anybody was high-fiving, so that's a little, what would you call that? Like over exaggerating. But there was the case that I already showed you guys where he was talking to Forex in that Telegram, in that AMA. And we do know that Forex did tell him that there was a vulnerability, and he did admit. And in this article also, he mentions that the auditors told him there was a vulnerability. And he talks about how he was going to fix it in version 2, in version 3, version 4, version 5. So I don't believe anybody was high-fiving, but yes, there were people that were aware, including himself. Now, this part, the shared community, I kind of don't think that that's true. Yes, we do know that people are in multiple projects from different devs, like being in being in Elephant Money, being in Drip, and being in Piston, right? Or being in Splassive. So all these people, one person can be in all 5 of those projects. And yes, when something bad happens, it affects the entire community because people are diversifying in their projects. But it's not shared, because in this sense, what's meant to happen is that if your project is not as good as others, it will show who to trust. No different than why you buy certain name brand clothing or machinery or appliances, is because it has a reputation for being better than the competition. So it's not a shared community in that sense. Like, it's meant to showcase the survival of the fittest. And we shouldn't be, slamming one dev over another, but we do want to point out who has a superior product. That is the point. You are investing your money into a person and a development team with a product that you are hoping will yield the results that you are investing in. And if it doesn't, then you don't put your money in it, and you're going to tell your friends and family not to put their money in it either, right? So next line, every time bad actors win, it hurts the entire space. This is true. I do agree with that. Every time somebody gets a rug pull happens, or a scam, or an exploit, yes, it leaves a bad taste in everybody's mouth, and it will be that much harder and longer for people to get into the space and for the space to grow and reach that mass adoption that we want. So I do agree with that. There are prominent teams that were aware of weaknesses and stood by and did nothing at your expense. Now, this is the part that really gets me. That is literally finger pointing and not accepting responsibility. There are prominent teams. We know this for a fact that this was Drip, and he mentions that in his AMA that he reached out to him, and they go back and forth where Forex says he didn't get that message or whatever, and then Forex says that he told BT about the vulnerability, and BT kind of punted that off, didn't do anything about it. But the fact that he literally says they were aware of the weakness and stood by and did nothing at your expense, that to me is a statement that says, I'm not qualified to do my job, and I expected someone else to clean up my mess, and they didn't do it, therefore it's their fault. That is just ridiculous. Let's look at this in light of, if again, the contractor example, you're building a house. You hire this contractor to build your house, they're building it, and another contractor down the street comes by and says, hey man, using that material, you're gonna have a problem with the foundation, and in 6 months it's gonna collapse, and he just waves it off. It's like, okay, he got this warning. Let's just say even the other contractor from down the street doesn't come and tell him that. But you put your money in this contractor, they're building the house, and then 6 months later, the house collapses. And then you ask him, dude, what the hell? My house collapsed. He's like, well, that developer down the street, or the contractor down the street, they built much better houses, but they didn't come and help me. Like, what the hell, dude? That makes literally no sense. Like, this to me tells me all you need to know about BT's character. So again, you can follow other YouTubers. You can listen to the Cryptozoa and follow them and do invest or whatever the case may be. But I don't understand how Cryptozoa can write this article after a statement like this. I'm sorry, this article. I'm not on the article. The article over here where he supports and says he's going to continue supporting Bankteller. This right here tells me that you should not be supporting any of his projects because he doesn't know what he's doing and expects other people to fix it. Correct me if I'm wrong. Please, by all means, in the comments, clarify this if you read it or understand it a different way. But this, to me, is a lack of ownership and direct finger pointing and blaming someone else for your inadequacies or negligence, as I mentioned in the other video. Even after I and other community members asked them to disclose. So again, he wrote the code. And supposedly he's saying that he asked people in the community, we'll just say Forex, to tell him where the problems were. And Forex didn't tell him. It's not Forex's job. Like, that literally makes no sense again. Like, how, if you can write this statement and then other people can come in and read that and go, yeah, okay, it's I understand that. That's Forex's problem. He should have definitely told Bankteller about the vulnerability. No, he shouldn't. Even if he knew. I agree we should support one another. That is great. But like I mentioned before, the goal of this space and for any business is to outperform their competition, to get referrals, to get people to say that their product is the best. And how do you do that? Well, by having a superior product. You don't go over to your competition and clean up their mess. Like, that just makes no sense. There are some places that have like open code, like I believe Tesla actually, he welcomes the competition and has his engineering or whatever, the what do you call that? The shit, I can't think of the name, where you get that piece of paper that says that it's your code or whatever the case may be. It's eluding me, but he says it's open source, so anybody can look at it. So yeah, there are some businesses that do run that way, but for the most part, there are literally secrets in every business, and they don't share their secret recipe for food or their secret manufacturing process or whatever the case may be. Why? Because they want to be the best, and they want other people to see that they have the best product. So this article or this statement is just ridiculous. And again, the fact that you can come here and read Cryptozoa's statement, and you can look at other YouTubers that are still supporting this, and they have every right to. And again, they use that statement, not financial advice. Don't follow me, but we all know what that means. I use it as well, and it means you're going to look to other people to do the research for you, and then you're going to formulate an opinion based on what they said. But I'm hoping that you guys read this and come to a decision that at least the character of this person is in question, and their ability to perform dev-related jobs is in question. Gross negligence. So if you're negligent and you can't do it, then to me, you should not be investing with them. But this is where Cryptozoa is talking about why he supports Forex and BT. He says here, the reason I liked Elephant and added it as the only second crypto in our stable is because of the differences between Drip and Elephant. One dev is pseudonymous, Forex, the other is docked, BT. One has two second-tier automated audit in Slither, that's Forex. The other has insurance through Insurace, that's BT. And Certic audits, which obviously didn't help at all. One has a history of projects that have 20x, that's Forex, and proof of his work. The other, a flawless MIT and Fidelity background. That's BT. What the hell does your background have to do with your ability to code? Perfect example. What did they call the last person to graduate and barely pass his doctoral college or certification? He's still called doctor. Now, you're still called doctor, but if you go and perform a surgery and you botch it, it doesn't matter what your background was, or even if you graduated at the top of your class, if you screw up a surgery or prescribe medicine that kills someone, you are considered negligent and held liable and can be sued for malpractice. So this, again, is just blatantly ridiculous that you can have someone of Cryptozoa's caliber write an article point these things out and then say, yes, I will still throw money at this. In here, he says something like anything that's not tied down or whatever, I'm going to be investing in. Like, I don't really get it. So, as we always say, do your own research, make your own opinions. But I feel, again, it's my moral obligation to inform you guys about this. You may not have read these articles, so I want to point this out, give you my personal perspective. Of course, you can decide what you want to do, but at a minimum, read the words directly from the dev, listen to that AMA, and listen to how he skated over questions, pointed the finger, never took full responsibility. And Forex isn't without blame either. He's got his flaws for sure. There's been issues in his projects. I'm not doubting that at all. I'm not saying any of these devs have had a perfect launch and everything is all gravy. But I do know at a minimum, Forex and his team fix their own problems. And as far as I have seen, there hasn't been any major exploits except for the Piggy Bank, which had about 600,000 liquidity lost. 600,000 BUSD, but there were fail safes in place so that it couldn't be more than that, and they recovered or blacklisted the bulk of that. And I wanted to bring this up because actually it's kind of funny to point this out so that you can see I'm not just pointing blame at BT. In the beginning, Forex was unaware of the actual vulnerability, and in the chat, so you can go in the animal farm, you can search for Forex and go all the way down to March 8th where this happened, and he's talking about here, I needed to not interact with the wave of idiots in a couple of days and stop working, because people were saying that somebody got a large amount of tokens. And if you scroll up, you'll actually find that a lot of the screenshots were deleted message. But people were saying, I got this amount versus this person got that amount. And Forex was trying to tell everyone that everything happened correctly, So people kept going back and forth, and this was a message that said something like, this person got more, the Piggy Bank, how was that a fair launch, something. He's like, they must have bought the contract. Forex defends it and says, first of all, your claim is not accurate. No one bought the contract. Someone did buy a lot of listing using the front end like everyone else, which he had all the right to do. Secondly, you can't dump piglets, and if you don't compound your truffles, the ROI that you make on your piglets is reduced every day. Piglets just act as a stand-in to determine your ROI. Also, he didn't buy 23% of the supply. If you're mad at anyone, be mad at yourself. So literally, he is not even aware. People were pointing it out in the chat. He goes in and doubles down and says this is not true. Nobody bought it. And as we know now, he has backpedaled on this and said someone bought it. And then one of the admins said that the person was blacklisted, and Forex said no one was blacklisted. We don't even have that ability to blacklist anyone. Learn how the contracts work instead of parroting nonsense. And then eventually, so here no one was blacklisted again. Don't know where those claims came from. They said it was Ray. Ray mentioned it. And then finally is where he actually says that it did happen that way. I think it's the pinned message. Let's see. That's not pulling up right now. But anyway, so you can see that again, yeah, I'm not just pointing the finger at BT, that there was issues clearly with the Piggy Bank launch and the code and things of that nature. But all in all, at least Forex fixed his own mistakes and did come back and own up to it. And whether or not it was a bot or not, I don't know. We won't know how that happened. But it is something that is being rectified, and at least $11 million in liquidity wasn't lost. And this is the first one. Drip hasn't been exploited. BREAP hasn't been exploited, and REAP is still going fine. So in regards to better coding, and simply since BT mentioned there were prominent teams that could have helped him, that means he's obviously saying that Forex and his team are clearly better than him. That's where I'm going to put my money and where my mouth is. So, all right, guys, I let this ramble on long enough. Hope to provide some insight. Make your own decisions, but I will not be investing in mini BT projects for sure. And I will be avoiding those crypto YouTubers that are still shilling these projects and can stand by when he's clearly stated this and support that, because that makes no sense. That's just my 2 cents on the matter, my 2 Satoshis, if you will. So until next time, guys, live daily and achieve.